Hey guys, it's Chris. Just want to let you know the following podcast was recorded a day before we left Canada. And we just been nonstop. We haven't had a chance to get these things out. And the day we got back home, we found out a good friend of ours, Matt Fiala, passed away. It's been a tremendously hard couple of months for everyone in the community and all of the friends and family. And I just want to say our heart goes out to the Fiala family, who are truly great people. Rest in peace, Matt. Give my brother a hug. We love you. Okay, podcast number 2.
Mic check 1, 2.
Mic check, mic check.
You good?
Are we on? Are we live? Are we recording?
We're live.
Okay, so this is podcast number 2, Living Our Script. Okay, we're in Montreal. No, we're not. We're probably, where are we? We're in Canada somewhere.
We are in
British
Langley
Columbia?
City still.
Well, let's start off with the big
fact
thing.
that
Hyperthermia.
Yeah.
So
That was
whole
how
body
we-
hyperthermia.
Mm-hmm.
It was easy. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was pretty easy. No, it was actually very, very bad. Terrible. Probably one of the worst 3 experience of my life. So hyperthermia is a state. The word hypothermia, hyperthermia,
That's what's happening.
is what I'm getting I'm getting into a fever state
They took you to the highest fever possible, like
without being really
to be
dangerous.
safe. Exactly.
Why did they do this?
It was going to set off every single red alarm. Like every alert in your immune system was going to go bonkers, which doesn't happen. Your body never gets to the point that it has a fever and then doesn't know how to like cool down eventually. You take a Tylenol, you take your clothes off, you do everything you can to cool yourself down. And this is just like, this
So why would
doesn't
you want
happen.
your body to go bonkers?
Because the fever's job is to attack what's going wrong. From something that I read before learning about this particular clinic's hyperthermia, or was even recommended for us to do it, I read that something happened with a patient and a doctor, and I don't know names or specific study, but I know I read it. And this guy that was like literally no hope in his cancer got like detrimentally sick, like so ill, and got a crazy fever, and then his cancer went away. And then that doctor then went to like, oh my gosh, like, was it the fever? What was it? And there was more studies. So that's what I remember from like my brief, like quick studies on it.
So in a nutshell, the body heats up, your immune system doesn't know what to do. It scrambles, it tries to figure out what's going on,
It just
and tries to help.
Attack.
And the hope is, in that attack mode, it finds some of these cancer cells or recognizes some of these cancer cells.
Right, that it's not normally doing.
Because normally, it doesn't even know my body really doesn't know the cancer's here.
Right.
But if everything is going crazy, maybe
It finds something new.
Maybe.
Right.
That's the hope.
Right. How do you know if you don't
And
look
on
right?
top of that, it's to just naturally weaken the cells, because cancer cells don't like living in
that particular
heated state
right?
like that.
So they're already prone to weakness in the heat. Never mind then your body getting this fever that's letting your immune system go like, what is happening right now?
Right.
I'm like, go nuts.
But anyway, sorry. So now we have this scheduled, full body hyperthermia. Everyone's telling me down here, the doctors, everyone's saying this is a terrible thing. Not a terrible, but they're saying this is very, very uncomfortable. Please know this. Going in, you're going to be very, very uncomfortable.
They made that like so clear.
So the day prior, they give me, what did they give me? An enema. They said, oh, so you're going to, I already knew that I've been thinking about the thermometer in the ass.
Yeah,
since
that was the thing.
we were back
right?
home.
Yep. Yeah.
So, but now they throw in an enema. You have to do a self enema. So I
Tried to talk me out of it almost.
tried to talk Missy out of it.
You were
'cause
like, no, I already took my morning
up,
shit. I'm fine. I got my coffee, my breakfast. Like, I'm good to go. And
I was all cleaned out.
yeah,
clean
you're
as
like,
a whistle.
what is the point? The point is they said that if they stick a thermometer in your ass, you might shit.
Right.
Like, you gotta do it. I'm
So
like, I can't
self
tell you not
enemas.
to
I
do
don't
it.
know if anyone in the audience has ever done an enema. They're not for me. They're not for me. But I did it, and the instructions say either lay in the tub, which how am I going to lay in a tub like bent like that? Lay in a tub or lay on the bathroom floor. I just did it on the bathroom floor, on the cold bathroom floor. I put a towel there, laid down, and I attempted to do this thing. And on the instructions, they show a guy he's laying on his side, and he has kind of like one leg up in the like a fetal position. He's kind of hunched over a little bit.
Yeah, one leg extended,
and then one leg
up.
extended, and then you have an entry to the doorway there, and then squirting the stuff. It was cold. It surprised me, and it was not fun. I did yell. I think I did yell.
Honey, you yelled. I heard you in the other room.
Yep. I was extremely aggravated leading up to that. So I did it. All right, now I can't eat either. All right, we get there to do the treatment. It's this tiny little room.
It really was smaller than I anticipated.
Yeah, it's a tiny little room, and there's 2 machines in there.
Yeah.
And they look like what? Just a regular hospital table with like, I call it like a rectangle tent over it.
Sure.
And the tent is just like a reflective material, thick reflective material housing these lights.
Yeah, right. Vinyl on the outside, right? Like water. Yes, exactly. Yep. Watertight on the outside, and then like aluminum on the inside to reflect the light.
Yep. So we get in. We didn't sit in yet. He says I have to change into my jammies.
He said, "Did you bring your jammies?"
He said, "Did I bring my jammies?" I said, "Jammies? Yes." No, I didn't have any jammies. So
they gave you the option. I mean, they said you can bring. We're going to need you
beforehand.
Yeah. He didn't say jammies, but he said you're going to need long sleeves, long pants. Some people bring their pajamas. He said,
I missed that memo.
And he's like, but but then he quickly was like, we provide it. So there's no reason if you don't, whatever. You wear a Johnny when you go.
So he gives me the jammies, and then he hands me a catheter as well. I was actually wondering, how am I going to pee when I'm in this thing? Because he's giving me lots of IV fluids, and they want me to drink a lot during, right up until the treatment.
Yeah.
So how am I going to pee? I didn't think about that.
Yep.
Of course, condom catheter. I get it. I haven't worn a condom in a long time.
And I never knew a condom catheter existed until Brandon was in the hospital and they were talking about the options for him.
Yeah.
And honestly, they offered that to him and I didn't know what that meant.
It's kind of convenient. It really is convenient.
It is. And they were like, well, Brandon, we can give you this condom catheter so you don't have to sit up and do it. And that motherfucker said, I'm going to pee on my own. And he did the whole time.
Well, in this case, I couldn't get up.
I know you couldn't. I'm just saying that's the only time that I was ever introduced to that method.
But I didn't know how to use it.
Why should you?
Well, no, because I mean, now looking back at it, it's pretty stupid. If you look at it, you can see that the thing rolls out.
Oh, they call it a condom catheter.
It was kind of like hard. The part that rolls out was hard on the outside.
Yeah.
And then there was a little like white thing on the tip and it said squeeze. And I was like, how do I don't understand. I thought it just kind of like rested on the tip and like pinched it or something. I didn't understand that it rolled out like a condom. Even though he said condom catheter, I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
So I called Missy in last minute. I was like, Missy.
Yeah, you were taking a long time. I was like a lot of quality time with the man in the room waiting. And then you called me. And I think he probably just figured that was what you were calling for and that he might have more knowledge than I do. Because you called me and I went and he just followed me. And then he ended up telling you like, yeah, dude, you roll it up.
Well, no, he goes, have you ever put a condom on before?
Oh my God.
And I go, yes, I have. I know how to do it. And then it's just, I felt very stupid after because it's just, all I got to do is roll it out.
Yeah.
Now, here's what happened.
I know where we're going.
All right. So I roll it out and I'm already late. I feel like I took way too long in the bathroom.
You did.
The catheter, I put it on kind of fast and I knew that it trapped a few hairs. Okay. This is kind of gross, I know, but it's part of the story here. All right. So I was, I'm not well groomed down here in Canada. I don't know, I lost track of time. And the condom catheter got a few hairs stuck in there. All right. So it's fine now. It doesn't really, not a big deal now.
Did it hurt?
But we'll come back to that story afterwards. No, it didn't hurt. I just knew. I go, shit. But I can't tell you, when I did pee for the first time, I was
worried that it was going to leak.
Yeah, because it didn't feel right. It felt like I wasn't going in the hole.
Yeah. You said that too. You were like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was, and you can't tell because I was so hot in there. Yeah. All right. So I lay down. He hooks up all the EKG wires on me. He puts one on my toe. Don't they usually put stuff on a toe? They put something on a toe when he died, right? They put a toe tag. Yes, they do.
That was not a toe tag. It was an EKG.
I don't know what it was, but he put something on my toe.
It was monitoring your heart.
Oh, I know. I don't know what it was. So he put the sock over that, and then he put socks on my hands.
Yep.
So now I have full sweatpants on. Yep. Sweatpants, sweatshirt, like a light sweatshirt material, long sleeve, and long socks like thick socks on my hands and my feet. And so I'm completely covered. It's already hot in there. It's already hot. Even in the
Before it's
regular
even
like heating,
on.
you know, just the light lamps in there are hot. What else did he do before? Oh, the thermometer.
Oof.
So after he hooked up all that stuff, he said, okay, well, Missy, it's going to be a little awkward here. Would you like to
Chris,
step
you want
outside?
me to leave? You said yes. You wanted me to leave. I thought maybe you wanted me to do it.
No, I didn't want you to do it. I mean, think about that. Did you want to stay in there? You were going to stay in there?
No, I feel like I have to document everything.
He turns me over.
He didn't physically flop you over.
No, I turned over. But he did manhandle me and plug me. No, I turned over, and he puts this kind of slippery.
I was waiting for like the scream to know that it happened, like with the enema to know I could come back in. Like, all right, time to come back. You guys, you didn't.
Missy, I took it in the ass like a man. Okay.
Yeah, you did.
So he turned me over. It's better if I say he turned me over, right? He's kind of pushed me over. He turned me over, and if I felt like he was screwing this thing in like a socket wrench. Yeah, it would, because I don't know if he was trying to position so he could see the numbers, or I don't know what he was doing.
Oh yeah, okay.
No, not the numbers, because he was getting.
Because I was on
no,
the
he was getting a
outside.
feed, like an electrical feed out of my ass.
Oh my gosh!
So it must have been like the connecting tube or something. That
like
he
antennas, like when you do antennas, when you would get the static and you have to move it around.
I don't know if he did
to get
that.
the good signal.
I don't know, but he was wrenching it in my ass, and then I felt it. It felt, to be honest with you, it felt like it was slipping out
the whole time.
Now, I don't know if anyone's listening to this as they're eating breakfast. Maybe they stop at the drive-through at
McDonald's. Put a thing on beforehand. It's too late to say that now, honey.
Yeah. But it was actually a worry of mine from before we even got here. I was thinking about the rectal thermometer.
And yes, I think that was at least. Okay, in hindsight, was that the least of your worries? Was that the worst part of it?
No, it wasn't the worst part in hindsight. No. So after he does that, I lay down, and it's, so now I have this catheter on me, and I have this butt plug in me, and we'll call it a butt plug because that's kind of what it is, right? And I'm sitting there. I feel completely violated. Not because of the doctor. The doctor was a good doctor.
He was awesome.
But I just feel, I have socks on my hands,
yeah,
duct tape on my mouth, and I just feel, no, there's no duct tape in my mouth. But I had socks on my hands, feet, catheter on in the front, something up my butt. My head's separated from my body, so I can't see my body. I just, I have an IV in my arm. He puts an IV in too. So I'm completely vulnerable here. Yes. On this table, right? It's not a powerful position here.
Yes, you know those boxes that they put people in, like as a joke. No, in the magic show that like they behead a woman.
That's actually a good.
That is what it looked like because your head was sticking out, but for the portion while they were bringing your fever up, it had to be covered too. So you were like fully boxed.
Well, there was a compartment to the head part too, so that can be covered as well. But I can't see my body because he zips it up, and I can't. So, so now I'm sitting there. I can't. There's signs everywhere saying, "Do not, move your hands around everywhere because you can get burned. Even with the socks on your hands, if you touch the lights, they're going to burn you.
Yeah,
the lights get very hot. So I'm sitting there. Sure. So he tells me. So after I get all comfortable, as more comfortable as I can be. Right before he turns the lights on, he zips up the whole machine and he goes, and just to let you know, the condom is the rubber of the condom.
Rubber heats up first.
Yeah, the rubber's going to heat up first, so that you're going to feel that first. So just let me know when it gets too hot.
So already when we think like the worst is already in your brain, you're already set up for like, okay, here it is. The worst is over. It's in my ass. Now he looks at you before it all starts and says, and by the way, your dick's going to fly first. Your penis is about to get on fire first.
Yeah.
That's going to be the first thing you feel.
Right. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I go, okay. So then I go, wait, just to clarify, everything's supposed to be hot. This is the whole thing. Like I'm supposed to get a fever. Like, how do I know when it's too hot?
How do you know when to say this doesn't feel right? Because it's not going to feel right.
And he goes, he winked at me and he goes, you'll know. And I go, great. I don't know if he winked at me, but you know what I'm saying? He looked at me and said, you'll know. Okay.
Yeah, I think he'll know.
Yeah. So he closes it up, and then he turns the lights on.
Yeah, and he said that he can give you a washcloth, a little towel to put over the condom catheter after a certain point. And I'm like, and I was being protective mama bear, and I'm like, why can't we just give him that washcloth right off the bat? Like, let's just go ahead with the washcloth. Why do we want to burn his dick? Like, what's the thing with that? Like, why? And he's like, no, well, like, we have to do, like, his goal is to get you to the fever as fast as he can, which includes a heating pad wrapped around your IV saline that was dripping into your arm.
Right, so I was having heated saline fluids in me. Yep. So I get in there, so now he starts it. Okay. So 10 minutes, 15 minutes in, I'm okay. It just felt like you were sitting on a beach with a hoodie on, with covered in a blanket. Everything's covered on your body, on a hot, late July beach day, blistering in the sun. That's what it felt like. But, okay, it's hot.
And then you started getting an itchy head.
So the itchy head, to me, it felt like a spider was like kind of crawling back and forth in the same spot on my head, and I couldn't get rid of it. And he did a great job. He would come in. I know. I go, Doc, my head is itchy. And he would come in and he knew exactly where to get it, and he would take a towel and just rub it. Eventually, he let Missy do that part.
And then you were like, he does it better.
You just couldn't find the itch as good as him, so he did. I think he had that problem before.
But at first he's like, no, I get it.
Right. Well, I think he probably doesn't want you touching anything, Yeah. Who knows where your dirty hands have been.
He did a good job though. And I did want to help because I know when you have an itch on your back, you get aggravated. When your hands are fully capable. Like,
let me tell you something. If you had an itch on your back and you had no way of itching it, you'd get aggravated too. It's annoying.
You think as women and men, I don't have the same itches as you do once in a while?
And you don't want to itch
freak out and ask you, get this in the same spot in the certain part of my back. I don't do that.
Is that
how
I
you do.
ask?
Like, yes. Oh, it becomes an emergency.
It is an emergency.
It becomes an emergency.
So we're sitting there. I have this itchy head. That's probably the biggest complaint at this point.
It was. Yeah.
I'm hot. Okay.
Like, screw this. This is happening. This is up my ass.
Fucking itchy head is the biggest thing. I can't
itch my head. It was already just aggravating.
So that's aggravating. So that's 15 minutes in. All right. Not so bad. I believe you could look at on the blog post, we have these all written down, but 30 minutes in, 35-ish minutes in is when I started feeling starting to feel shitty. Yeah. And I believe it was, my temperature probably rose 4 degrees at that point. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, okay, I'm starting to feel a little sick actually. Like I'm on the verge of nausea.
You weren't saying out loud, ooh, I'm a little nauseous, or this is what I feel. You just went into your own little zone. So like,
I was trying to concentrate on breathing, and I was telling Missy after I was concentrating on the breaths. So I wasn't counting minutes at that point. I was counting every breath. So it was lasting forever. This was only 35 minutes into it, but I didn't get really shitty until about an hour into it, 45 minutes to an hour into it, when my fever now I hit fever range.
You're like, we're like this team of like, okay, we're going to document what do I feel like at each degree. And then all of a sudden I felt like, okay, afraid to even ask you, what do you feel like now? What's going on? Should I even do this right now? I don't know.
Because there's a few times, and this is nothing against you, just as she used to sing a few words.
I was not making a joke.
Missy, she sings a few words, and she was singing the temperature, and I go, oh my, stop it.
I wasn't
now
singing.
It's not time for play.
I was being quiet. I'm like,
it doesn't matter. You weren't doing anything wrong. But
all right, 104 degrees.
Right.
To you, that's a song. Is this a song?
No. But she was doing something like that when I'm like, now at this point, I didn't tell her yet, but I switched into combat mode because this is feeling terrible to me.
Right.
I have a fever. I feel sick. It feels flu-like.
Yeah. Do you know how many times you told me, like, no matter what,
39
I didn't do it like that. And we can go back to my audio memos and play
that. And I just, at that point, I wanted her out of the room.
No, you were already full-blown asshole, shut off, quiet mode. I'm going through hell. And then me as predator and documentary journalistic mind and as your wife, who you would be like, on other terms, you'd be like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care.
Well, no, right before, 10 minutes before that, I was telling you to go.
To do it. I know. So it's hard.
Yeah. So I'm in there now. It's pretty terrible. It's pretty bad. And the worst part is the time, because it just feels like it's forever. You're hot. It's literally like a flu, except for you're not vomiting. You feel like a hard fever.
You did feel nauseous too, though.
I did feel a little.
You said you felt like if you started to like talk or
Yes,
exert any energy, you could throw up.
Yeah.
So you just like try to stay as calm as you could.
Yeah, I was trying to concentrate on my breathing and not let my mind get to like, oh shit, you're gonna get sick.
You killed it. And
I would have got sick. I had nothing in me.
No, I mean, yeah, but you would have been dry heaving. Like, I mean, like your mental state, the way that you handled yourself, you were a rock star.
Externally, internally,
but that's huge.
No, but I'm just
that's
saying.
Why you didn't throw up. People react differently, and I'm sure many of people actually do then react to the nausea, and they probably then throw up or dry heave.
I don't. Or
you did a good job.
Or the guy, like the doctor said, they're not going to let you out right away if you're trying to quit. But what he might do is maybe turn the heat down a little bit. Maybe.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you something.
But then it takes longer.
People vomit on there all the time.
How do you know?
Because I talked to him about it.
So you shouldn't tell me that. Now I'm going to go vomit tomorrow.
No, I'm telling you, you didn't.
Really?
Because you
When did you have? Wait. Were you not going to tell me this?
When you were fussing around with the condom catheter, I was talking to Mr. Guy by the machine, and it was my own personal question. I started to really think about what I felt like if I had a fever. So I'm like, do they get nauseous? And he was like, sometimes. I'm like, do they throw up? And he was like, sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't think about this.
And that would be a horrible situation. So when I was saying I feel nauseous, you already knew. Like,
I already knew that, and I was so proud of you.
Wow, that's eye-opening. And I might vomit tomorrow.
No, I know.
Because I have to do, by the way, I have to do this again. I have to do this one more time, even though I walked out of that place.
I know, that's why I didn't want to talk about that part now.
Oh, wait, we forgot to say when I got off the bed, right? First of all, I can't stress it enough. I thought it was over about 3 times. First time he shut the lights off. He shut the lights off probably, an hour and a half into it? Mm-hmm. Now, an hour and a half into it, I'm like, oh, woo, I made it. I thought I was done. Came back to life. And I came back to life within 5-10 minutes. I was like, okay, I'm starting to, I thanked him.
Yeah.
I remember even thinking, I go, you know what? Hey,
You're
thanks.
awesome.
Thanks for being a good doctor, man.
Yeah.
Because I thought the end was near.
Yeah.
Now, little did I know, the fever gets worse.
Yeah.
He shuts the lights off. Your body is still adjusting all this shit. It's not like he opened the curtains to the thing. It's all zippered up.
Yeah.
I'm still all covered up. The lights are off. Right. The temperature around me is not heating up, but my body is still actually heating up a tad bit. And I stayed there for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
When I thought I was done.
Yeah.
So once it hit me that I was sitting there for a while again, I started getting sick again. So I came out of it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I got sick again. I'm like, holy shit. I felt it was never ending. It was a long process, and I felt like shit the whole time. But I just never thought it was ending.
And then it ended. I got up, soaking wet, really weak. Unsure if you pissed yourself or if it was sweat.
Yeah, I didn't know if I peed myself because I thought the catheter was in wrong. And so I went to the bathroom. Now I'm thinking I'm done now. I made it through this thing. I'm in the bathroom. I take off the 30-pound sweatsuit I have now because it's all soaked with water. I take it off, put that in the bucket. So now I'm sitting there naked in some random bathroom.
With you and a condom
catheter. With a condom catheter. And it's stuck. It is stuck on me. I cannot get it off. It was like welded to me. And I could not get it off. Luckily, they had some like aloe lotion in the bathroom, and I kind of had to like stick my finger in it and kind of poke through areas and get it loose. But that was...
Did it hurt when it came off?
That was icing on the cake. Yeah, it hurt the whole time because I was pulling hairs out. So that was like, I'm dead. I'm tired. I just got through this thing. And now I have one more little battle. It wasn't a bad thing. It's just, it's aggravating. And it's like an irritating
like you weren't
thing.
Thinking about that as being a battle you were going to have to
go home.
fight.
I just wanted to go home. So now what? Now we have to go to Vancouver?
Now, yep.
We'll have one more hypothermia treatment.
Yep.
All in all, I think the trip was successful because I feel a little bit better. And I know you made a whole bunch of friends. And you had a great time here.
I did. I loved it.
You do look pretty today, though.
Thank you.
Note to audience, see how she said she loved it? Meanwhile, I'm sitting on a hospital bed getting needles
I had
pricked
a
in me.
great time. I was on a eat, pray, love style journey here as well. That wasn't just, first and foremost is you being in good hands and getting some treatment and some relief. It is.
Okay.
But I also wanted to take some time and do some meditation and just kind of like, submerge myself into some of that stuff. You saw
So
it.
you were hanging out at a place, ironically called, and we'll talk about this later.
I know,
Not for
I
now,
know.
because we have to leave.
I know.
Gasoline Alley.
Right.
That's where you were hanging out, where all your spiritual stuff was happening.
Yeah.
And you met a bunch of friends, and you pretty much were there every day.
Every day.
So Gasoline Alley, I'm not going to get into it too much, but my father's business, where we worked, all the brothers, day and night, pretty much, was Gasoline Alley, Albany Street in Springfield. When I say day and night, I mean I worked in the day. I drove a truck for my father, and then I went back and did video production
Editing all night.
on that premises in Gasoline Alley. We basically got kicked out of that building because there was a spill that happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah. So then when you got breast cancer originally, and I was submerging myself into male breast cancer, looking up everything that had to do with male breast cancer, I found the same chemical that was found in that chemical spill that you were exposed to was the same chemical that was found at Camp Lejeune, where they had the largest cluster of male breast cancer that they know of.
So that's Gasoline Alley.
So that's Gasoline Alley.
We'll talk about that. That's a whole podcast
It is,
by itself.
yes.
So we'll talk about that.
Yep.
But Missy was actually in
Gasoline
Fort
Alley,
Langley,
Fort
in a
Langley.
little Gasoline Alley section. It was called Gasoline Alley. We have pictures of it.
And I made friends.
And she made a bunch of friends, and it was very spiritual, and it was right up her alley.
It was awesome.
Very ironic.
Super ironic.
But we got to wrap it up.
We do.
We got to go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm tired. It's been a long couple of weeks. Still not done.
Nope. One more
almost
full
done.
body hyperthermia, one more local regional hyperthermia, one more mistletoe, and we're out of here.
And that's it. All right.
So we'll do
Peace
this
out.
again in Springfield.
See ya. Peace.
Bye.